Weekend loadout number 2, and the goal with the series is to play a loadout you might not play as much. It's not going to be a detriment to you or your team, and above all, it's fun. That's what all of this is about. That's the most important thing, especially right now with Destiny. I have a loadout for PvP, loadout for PvE. Last week was Warlock. This week's going to be Hunter. In last video's comment section, I saw a lot for Hunter, and I want to focus on Caliban's Hand 2.0. There's some things that I want you to do with it. There's some artifact mods to pay attention to, ones that you might not even have on. But with this, it has synergy. I love this exotic. It's strong, it's perfect for this season, and as with last week, there's some changeable parts. I'm going to show you some different examples. The long season of Solar, we start with Caliban's Hand. Proximity knife scorches targets, it damages. If you get a final blow with it, you get an ignition. After you throw the knife, you get increased melee regen until the knife explodes. So if it misses, lands on the ground, you get it back in no time. Obviously, on Gunslinger. Knock him down, important, while Radiant, final blows with your throwing knife, refund it. But then we have Gunpowder's Gamble. Defeat targets with solar abilities, solar debuffs, solar weapons. You charge up the Gamble. Highly underrated. And this is the PvE section. We want the Healing Grenade, Explosive Knife, Triple Jump, Gambler's Dodge. On Marksman Golden Gun, increased precision damage, more on this in a moment. For the aspects, Torches. Powered melee attacks makes you and nearby allies radiant. That's important. Char, your solar ignition spreads Scorch. Eruption, ignitions have a greater area of effect. And then Searing. Defeating scorched targets grants melee energy and creates a fire sprite. I prefer this over Ashes. As I go through, you'll kind of see why. Remember, Ashes, you apply more scorch stacks. It's going to be up to you. This is interchangeable, but I prefer the melee for Caliban with the fire sprites. That means you're always going to have it, and some other parts of your kit, like your healing grenade, class ability. For the artifact, Flint Striker, rapid solar precision hits or solar weapon final blows gets you radiant. Torch, while radiant, increase weapon damage to combatants affected by strand and stasis debuffs. And then we have these two together. First, Heart of Flame. Casting solar supers near allies gives them radiant, but you get increased damage on your super based on each ally that's nearby. The second one that works with this is Wished into Being. While your super is nearly fully charged, any ability final blow spawns orbs of power. If you have Wish Armor on, it's going to be better. It's going to be up to you if you want to put on that Wish Armor. Revitalizing Blast. Causing damage with a solar ability weakens champions and bosses, rates precision. While Radiant, your solar weapon precisions get ignitions. Argent Ordnance, more damage, reload for your rockets. So, with Caliban, that's your engine. It's your bread and butter. With all the solar going on, all the scorch, we have ignitions from Caliban. They're larger ignitions. We also have Gunpowder Gamble a ton. And all those things, especially as you're getting close to your super, you're going to get fast because you're going to get orbs. But the second part of all this, you're going to make the switch to Nighthawk. You're going to proc Heart of Flame. And I'll talk about that again in a moment. So with all the fragment loops, the aspect, the artifact health, Scorch with how Caliban works, on the helmet, hands-on. More super from melee kills. We have a siphon for the solar weapon, heavy ammo finder. The arms, focusing strike. You get class ability energy when you cause damage with your powered melee attack. It's up all the time, so that's helping your class ability. Impact deduction. That same powered melee is also going to give grenade energy. Then a harmonic loader, solar weapon. Reserves on the chest, surge on the legs. I use double outreach, just in case for whatever reason I don't have that Caliban melee. Maybe I can't get close. I can dodge and get a good amount of energy, and then Reaper. With this particular setup, I actually prefer a legendary weapon, because Incandescent's great with all this. I love Abyss Defiant. This is Heal Clip Incandescent. I have Dragon's Breath, because Dragon's Breath, and Argent Ordnance. And the special at the top, Shield Clip Fusion, like Riptide. It causes slow. That's your stasis debuff. Or you can do Scatter Signal for Slice. That's the strand debuff. That way you can easily have Torch, which is increased weapon damage to combatants affected by strand and stasis debuffs, with Revitalizing Blast. So throw the knife, throw the gamble. That will weaken the boss. You're going to have your debuff with stasis or strand. So you're doing more with that Argent Ordnance Dragon's Breath. Or you can go the exotic route, Polaris with an Apex Rocket. You can still go with Chill Clip or the Slice Strand weapon. But when putting this together and playing with it, not worried at all by not having Ashes. That isn't a big deal. Remember, that's adding more Scorch stacks. And that's crazy, right? But with the ignitions from Caliban, the Gunpowder Gamble, that damage itself, again, extremely underrated. It's applying all the Scorch. The ignitions just happen all the time. There's a ton of Scorch. We have Rays of Precision, those causing ignitions. So, like, you don't miss it, you don't need it. And that melee, with its big ignitions from Caliban, getting the class ability energy, getting the grenade energy, getting the fire sprites. It's a little machine, because when you get all that going, you're going to have the orbs from the siphons, you have the orbs from the artifact mod, with all those ability final blows, and then you make the switch to Nighthawk. So make a loadout, and again, it's going to be in Dem. Right next to it, just switch out Caliban for Nighthawk, and when the time calls, you can set up for it if you want. Throw the knife for the debuff. Weaken them, that also gets you radiant. Hit them with a stasis shot. Switch to Nighthawk, be next to teammates. Big super, go right back to Caliban. Very complete setup. Like, I looked after my coil, I dusted the scoreboard with it, man. I was having so much fun. Kill, score, all of it. It shreds. And what you'll find with that melee regen and the Scorch, the ignitions, big part of the kit's that Gunpowder Gamble. It keeps it all churning. As you get the orbs from the kills, you're gonna have that big Nighthawk shot. then you're back to business. I do prefer the legendary incandescent weapon, and that could be any that you want, but I really like this hill clip one because, first of all, the cure saved me. While I'm next to teammates, they get it too. But with all the Caliban nonsense, Abyss Defiant, it's got Cursed Thrall. We can throw that in there. Beating a target with a melee attack, you get all those explosions. That's my favorite route, but there's Polaris, Sunshot, TQ, whatever you want. Very, very good build, but just as important as that Caliban engine is following up with the Nighthawk Big Shot. The Gunpowder Gamble, the Caliban Ignitions, they get you out of a lot of sticky situations. It's awesome. If you haven't given Caliban and PvE a full shot, try it. It's great. I myself haven't tried this in a while. It did great. I usually switch things up a ton, and I really wish that I tried it a little bit sooner. As far as Caliban and the Crucible, that's also going to be the PvP loadout this weekend, Caliban's Hand. Again, I love this thing. Right when it came out, it was incredible because the artifact helped. Now, the artifact stuff obviously isn't there anymore, but it's still strong. There's a training rules version, there's a regular version, and the whole goal, again, have fun. Throw on the loadout, see what you can get going. For the Crucible, you're keeping Knock 'em Down and Gunpowder. Gunpowder in PvP is actually pretty nuts. About 120 damage over 120, very wide detonation. You have a solar weapon, that helps a ton. As you get kills, that gets charges too. You throw it and boom. Awesome. The healing grenade switches to the incendiary because we throw that in conjunction with the knife. That's a big part of getting the Caliban explosion. I use triple jump, gambler's dodge, marksman golden gun, and for the fragments, torches. Powered melee attacks gets you radiant searing. Defeating scorched targets gets you melee energy and a fire sprite. Eruption, the ignitions have a greater AoE, then ashes, more scorch. All you want's the knife final blow. I have on a solar siphon, double targeting, arms, focusing strike, solar loader, impact induction, triple solar unflinching, recuperation, better already, invigoration, and then double outreach reaper. You can start off with Monte Carlo. If you've never played it, aren't comfortable, that's the training wheels version. You deal damage, you get some melee cooldown, you have a chance to get more on a kill. Use whatever you want. Carlo gets you the knife quicker. You have all your combinations, incendiary grenade, then Caliban. But straight up, just the trap knife alone, like this one, it's always great.
Have advantage. Double down. A fire team that fights together stays together. 5 minutes remain. A strong start. Fight on.
I don't use Monte Carlo. You can just use a regular loadout like this Igneous Reeswalker. You go Skyburners if you want. There's a lot of things you can do. The only thing that matters is the Caliban final. You get that Caliban final, it's over. A big part of the melee is going to be coming from getting final blows to refresh it, scorching things. Defeating them gets melee energy, but your discipline and strength, you want to be fairly high. I have mine at 6. It does fine. If you really want to go all in, it'd be 8 and above, or you would throw on a demo weapon or something like that, or demo wellspring. A lot of things you can do. And also remember things like Monte Carlo. There's the Markov chains. That's more damage coming out of the combination. Give it a shot. Maybe you haven't tried it in a while, and especially if you've never tried it, when you get the combo off, it's amazing. If you're new here, remember to hit the subscribe button. And if you are subscribed, thank you so much for your support. Let's talk about Caliban's Hand down below. Overall, how do you feel about it in PvE? How do you feel about it in the Crucible? Again, dim loadouts down below. Give them a shot. Thank you for watching, and until the next one, I am CoolGuy.